Everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So this is part one of two. I literally watched the entire first day of the impeachment trial today. And so I took a lot of notes and I have a lot to tell you guys, but I wanted to break it down into two segments because it is quite long. First of all, we knew Donald Trump was chicken shit, right? He dodged the draft how many times? Having his daddy pay off a doctor to pretend that he had some medical condition that prevented him from serving his country. But what we witnessed today was some next level chicken shittiness. I mean, Democrats laid out a pretty disturbing and very emotional case about what took place and why he should be convicted. They played a video which chronicled the events that took place on January 6th, and they also laid out a timeline of what Trump was doing, saying, and tweeting simultaneously. Then it was time for Trump's legal team to lay out his defense. So instead, what they did was basically throw Trump supporters under that Trump train that they love to talk about so much. And then they blathered on about norms and future impeachments and how great senators are. So Trump's first attorney, he started it off by strongly denouncing, and those were his words, I strongly denounced the violence that took place on January 6th. So rather than making the case that they were right to do this because the election was stolen, as Trump wanted them to, no, he said not only does he strongly denounce the violence and what Trump's supporters did that day, he also said he's been following the cases and he hopes they receive the harshest punishment possible. So if I were a Trump supporter who showed up that day and did what I thought Trump was encouraging me to do, I would be pretty pissed. I think most of those people believe that if they got in trouble, if they did anything wrong, surely Trump would pardon them for whatever crime they had committed. But nope, they got played. Then his attorney blathered on about how great senators are and basically just kissed their ass. Or as my mother-in-law says, because English was not her first language, he's an ass licker. So yeah, he stroked their egos talking about how they make the tough choices because they have strong ethics and they believe in the Constitution. Do they though? I mean, maybe some progressive Democrats do, and maybe a handful of Republicans, and that's being generous. But honestly, if they did, they would have removed Trump in January of 2020. And then we wouldn't have had to live through his failed COVID response and this attempted insurrection. We could have been spared all of this. So then the attorney went on to threaten everyone and tried to scare everyone about future impeachments and, the government's going to change control someday and Democrats aren't always going to be in charge. And then, Republicans are going to be looking to impeach whoever is in office. Okay, so we should just not do anything then. Just let everybody do whatever the hell they want. Rule of law means nothing anymore, I guess. He also admitted that Trump lost, which I'm sure that pissed Trump supporters off even more. He tried to make the argument that Democrats were impeaching Trump because they don't trust the voters to make proper voting decisions and to vote someone out if they don't want them. And he said Democrats should trust Americans to choose the proper candidate because, quote, the people spoke. He said that. He said that they chose a new administration and that new administration that the people chose is in the White House right now. So he went on to say that elections work, that they've always worked, that there's never been a point in time where they didn't work as intended, and that surely Trump doesn't need to be prevented from running again for office because the American people are more than capable of voting against him again, just as they did this time. So this was pretty remarkable considering that Trump wanted his impeachment attorneys to argue that the election was rigged and stolen, which is what got him into this mess to begin with. And the fact that he just came out right out of the gate and shot holes in everything that Trump and Giuliani and Lynn Wood and everybody else has been saying for months. It was really just unbelievable. So I wonder if they even ran that past Trump first, or if he was shocked to hear that. I mean, if I were one of his attorneys, I might have left that out when I was briefing him, although I would never in a million years, if I were attorney, agree to represent someone as abhorrent as Trump. But yeah. So anyway, guys, that is part one. Please check out part two because it gets pretty saucy and important. So, all right. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.